Hello friends, Coach Bob with you, and if things look a little different, that's because they are. Yeah, heck yeah, it's a little different. Welcome to another Worship on Wheels. You know, today is late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. I guess we've crossed the midnight hour, so I guess technically it is Sunday morning. If you're wondering what the heck is Coach Bob doing out at midnight on Saturday night, that's kind of crazy. What is wrong with that guy? Well, I will tell you, today has been one of those hectic, chaotic days, and I intended on getting this done early today, but it didn't happen. And by the time I got home, I, ate a late supper with Coach Vic, and then hung out and did a few things around the house, and I looked down, it's after 10 o'clock, approaching 11. Coach Vic's going to bed, and I told her, I said, you know what, I want to get this Worship on Wheels done. And she goes, you're going to go out now, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm going to head into town because that way we'll have lights. Because if I did it out on the roads where we are, you would just see a big black wall. And honestly, I wanted it to be a real Worship on Wheels. I didn't want it to be sitting in the living room or in the garage or whatever. So today we're going to be talking a little bit, have you ever done something that really isn't very bright, like maybe go out at midnight to shoot a video because you messed up and you weren't as smart as you thought you were? And then, all of a sudden things go really well, and you're like, wow, maybe I'm a genius. Maybe I'm smarter than I thought. But before we get going on all that, let's hear the Bible verse and watch a little bit of a movie. All right, so the Bible verse today is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 5. For this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness, knowledge.
Got room for one more if you still want to go to Aspen.
Where did you find that?
Traded the van for it, straight up.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
All right, so faith, goodness, and goodness, knowledge. Old Harry and Lloyd, man, they weren't the brightest of the bright, that's for sure. What a great movie, though, huh? But they tried. They did. They tried. They were trying to do the right thing, and they were innocent. That's what made them so lovable in that movie. Their faith had goodness. They were good. They were trying to return something to someone, and then, of course, the love factor came in, and there was so much involved in all that maybe wasn't so good, but you get my point. But the one thing that they did not have was knowledge. How much further could they have gotten with knowledge? How much faster could they have gotten to the person that needed the money? How many problems could have been avoided had they simply had more knowledge? We never see ourselves as Harry and Lloyd. We see ourselves as relatively smart people. I think most of us do. I know I read a lot and I study all the time. Actually, Coach Vic laughs at me. Do you read anything that is just mindless entertainment? And honestly, the answer is no, I don't. I like to feed my mind all the time. I really, really do. That is what gives me the privilege of having more impact in other people's lives, certainly in the young people that I coach, and that's valuable. That's very, very important to me. So how do we get knowledge? And once we get it, do we really understand what it is, or do we ever reach that place where we go, man, I've learned enough? I don't know that I will ever say that I've learned enough. There's always more out there. There's always more for me to learn, always more for me to digest, so that I can share and love on my fellow man a little more effectively. You know, it's not about vanity that we're to gain knowledge. We're not supposed to gain knowledge so we can wag our finger in somebody's face and say, look how smart I am and look how smart you're not. That's not what it's about. And if it was, then the faith and the goodness part wouldn't even be there. That's the whole point, is that you are good and that your knowledge actually serves a purpose. Then you can share knowledge that will light someone else's path, someone that could be struggling, and you might come up with the word that would be said that would help them through a tough time. Recently, and I'm not going to divulge a whole lot here for the sake of privacy of the individual, but a very close friend here recently whose family member committed suicide, and I don't have the right words to say ever in a situation like that. But I will say that as I was around him and talking with him and loving on him, the right words came. They did. And I'm not going to tell you that it's because I'm a brilliant guy, but I do believe that through my studies and through my preparation, that God put me in a place and allowed me the privilege of helping someone who is going through a very difficult time in their life. And so any amount of preparation that was made, whether it was hours, weeks, months, years, if the only time that my faith and my goodness and my knowledge could have been exercised was that one time with this young man, then it was well worth it. Any sacrifice that we can make that will help our fellow man grow and be better is well worth that. It's just well worth it. Tell you what, I'm about to run out into darkness here. Let me turn around again. Don't want to do that. Now it's late, and I know I shouldn't be making a U-turn, but there you go. My knowledge is telling me that I'll be okay making that U-turn as I see those blue lights coming up behind me. You know, if I get stopped, I'm just going to say, hey, you want to ride on the hog? But you know, sometimes we don't think, and I did not think when I was sharing things with this young man that it was having any impact whatsoever. In fact, I thought I probably should just shut up. But it was one of those things where the look in his eye said, talk to me. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's why we do it. Also, that knowledge will help us stay out of trouble ourselves. You know, we'll see something and then we'll make a more wise decision as a result. Man, this is a long light, huh? Maybe it'll change. Sometimes these things don't change at all. Hey, look at that. Well, look at that. But you know, I love hearing knowledgeable people speak. Even folks I disagree with. I love hearing smart people talk. I can learn from them. You know, I've been watching a lot of interviews with Elon Musk, you know, the Tesla guy. And that dude, man, he is the bomb. I'm not going to say he always says things the right way, but he just tickles me because he is so brilliant and witty. I have enjoyed watching a lot of the interviews with him in the last week or two, as he's just, you know, when people criticize him or they ask him a loaded question and he's just very dry with his answer, and then he'll give that kind of half smile he gives, and I think that's really, really cool. He made a comment in front of a crowd that everyone thought he was an alien because he was so smart and he wanted to go to Mars. Boy, when I see people flying up behind me, I hear the tires screeching. It makes me a tad nervous. And I will say that the guy, man, he is super duper smart. Hopefully there's plenty of goodness in there too, you know. But I don't want to get off on all that so much. I just want you to think about what you're doing this week how can you grow in knowledge, whether it's reading a book, watching a film, listening to intelligent people speak. Just absorb everything that you can to be ready, to be prepared in and out of season, to defend your faith and to love your fellow man, because those two things are vitally important. Well, there you have it. Another Worship on Wheels in the books. Yes, sir. So I'm going to go home and edit this thing, and when I get it done edited, I figure I'll get to bed 1:30, 2 o'clock. So when you're watching this thing early in the morning, make sure you drink a cup of coffee for old Coach Bob. All right. Know this, yes you are loved, and so am I, and that is really great news. Now, go change the world. I'll see you on the road real soon.